everybody. Welcome back to the Gulf Coast Texas High School Football Huddle, brought to you by Citizens Medical Center. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and we have a great show for you this week. As you know, the Huddle is brought to you by Citizens Medical Center. One of the very cool things about the Medical Center is the Healthplex. Citizens Healthplex is Victoria's premier medical fitness and wellness facility. If your goal is to improve your health, prevent disease, help you get strong and fit, or just be well, Citizens Healthplex is for you. In fact, it's for me too. You'll probably see me and my wife there. Their 7,200 square foot facility has everything you need to maximize your enjoyment and get results. They offer all the space, equipment, and classes you'll ever need to get fit and healthy, including a large array of strength and cardio equipment, over 75 classes per week, a degreed and certified fitness staff offering professional instruction. Oh, and if you need to relax, try the steam rooms, whirlpools, dry saunas, and massage therapy. You want to lose weight? Hire one of the personal trainers to work with you one-on-one, and you're sure to see the results you want. Your journey to improved health, fitness, and wellness begins at Citizens Healthplex. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Mike Foreman from the Victoria Advocate. Mike, how are things today?
Oh, going okay, Chris. Just like you, trying to get ready for the first week of the playoffs.
I love it. And, you know, normally by district doesn't interest me that much, you know, because it's number ones versus number fours.
Right.
But there's a lot of good ones in the area.
Yeah, there's a few good ones that we have. There's some interesting matchups, I think. Most of them, a majority of them are, like you said, 1 versus 4 that you kind of figure you already know the outcome.
Right.
Yeah, there are some interesting matchups, which I think we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, you see the matchup with Cal Allen going up against El Campo, and that's a number 4 in a really strong district. So I think that's going to be one of the best games. We're calling that one the Bro Bowl. Yeah,
the Bro, I call it the Reed Bowl or however you want to call it. I spoke to Charlie last night, actually, and I'll probably speak to Travis tomorrow. I'll be at that game Friday. That's very intriguing. Obviously, you have the two brothers, you know, coaching on either side, and it's also an intriguing game because, like you said, the district El Campo came through is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cal Allen's wasn't as strong, so it's kind of hard to say, you know, this is not your typical 1-4 matchup. Right,
and the other thing that's cool about it is their father will be there, you know, a longtime coach himself, and they each have a son playing. So he's watching his grandsons play on opposite teams, his brother's coach on opposite teams. So that's got to be a tough one.
Yeah, that is. I'm sure for Mark and Jen, it's going to be very difficult because, you know, they're going to be sitting in the stands watching that. And, you know, it's like Charlie said, you know, he said something that was interesting. He said, you know, if this was the 3rd or the 4th round, it'd be a little, you know, a little more, I guess, easier. But he said the sad thing is that one of these guys is going home after the first round.
Yeah, that's why I talked to Travis and Charlie today, and Travis said that. He said, yeah, you know, the sad part is somebody's going home early. But the good part is that they do get to play it. It's a big family event, and, you know, it's going to be an exciting game, I think.
Yeah, I think it could be. I'm not sure how healthy El Campo is.
Right.
But that's been, I think, the biggest issue over there. They've been banged up. And, you know, maybe hopefully that they get some guys back and recovered, you know, to make it a little better for them. But it should be a good game. And you know that the way this thing worked out was really kind of cool because actually, Charlie spoke with Richard Whitaker at Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
They were both having difficulties, finding a field. So what they came up with, hey, why don't we just swap fields?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So now Calhoun is playing Zapata down at Cal Allen.
Right.
And that was a smart move. So it worked out for both of them. I'm glad to see that happen.
Yeah, and it worked out for fans around this area just because all you do is go right down to Port Lavaca.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not that long of a drive for Cal Allen people.
Right.
So, it's worked out really well. I think that'll be a good deal. Yeah, that's probably, I think, the most intriguing matchup of all of this week. Obviously, too, Victoria West playing Gregory Portland at GP because, GP finished second in that district.
Right.
So, I would have said early on in the year that West should be able to handle them.
Mm-hmm.
But, GP, it's gotten better.
Yes.
And, that could be, especially playing on its home field, gives it a little bit of an advantage there. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still not sure if I like the home field for the 5 and 6As or even maybe bring it down to the 4A even.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go all the way across the board, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Because there's so much difficulty finding a field that, in this first round, after the first round, it gets a little easier.
Right.
But, like, for instance, Bay City is going to Mathis. I mean,
right.
and no offense, but I mean, that's not the biggest stadium in the world.
No.
And that's what you have to do. I mean, you just have to find somewhere that you can play. And, it's difficult when, you've got to find a neutral site. So, I don't know. I just think, I'd really, like I said, I'd like to see that rule go all the way down.
Yeah.
At least through 2A. Maybe not for 6-man, but at least through 2A.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I saw you were in Edna yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I like this Edna team.
Yeah.
They have been a lot more consistent. And that's what, of course, killed them last year. They were so up and down. Mm-hmm. They're a lot more consistent this year, and they're playing really good defense, too. And that's encouraging. So, they and let's face it, I mean, I don't know, unless there's somebody out there, maybe Lano or somebody, but Region 4 in that 3A Division 1 is not the strongest.
Right.
And, so they have a pretty good path to make at least to the semis. So, and then I'll tell you what, too, after watching Hitchcock without the quarterback, they're beatable.
Yeah.
And Columbus is very banged up. So, it's not a done deal. Now, I don't know how good Franklin is. I'm sure Franklin's good. They're playing Hallettsville this week. But, I think Edna, there's a way, I think, if Edna plays well, that it could make it to Arlington.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a shot anyway, if they can continue to stay consistent. But
right.
Like you said, that's what's different about this Edna team.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like about this team. It's been more consistent. Now it had some challenges early. Obviously, the industrial game, and the Refugio game was very close too. But I asked Braylon Harris about, are you concerned because you really haven't had any competition in district,
right?
And other than maybe Goliath. and he said, yeah, a little bit, but he felt like that the way that the team was playing, they should be okay. So, yeah, and really, to be truthful, you could say that about a lot of teams.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look at Ganado and Refugio.
Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just someone striving for more success in life, the Winner's Workshop is your secret weapon. Yes, this award-winning course has transformed thousands of lives, teaching the game-changing principles of sports psychology that Fortune 500 companies, coaches, and top performers all use to win. The Winner's Workshop, subtitled How Sports Psychology Can Make You a Champion, is now available on CoachTube for a fraction of the original $499 price. The Winner's Workshop will help you master focus, mindset, and breakthroughs to make you a champion. Click on the link in the show notes or head over to LoneStarGridiron.com and click on the ad today to unlock your full potential. Yeah.
I mean, look at Ganado and Refugio. I mean, they haven't been challenged.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You mentioned Refugio. Refugio's in a really easy district. Three Rivers was a team that everybody thought, well, maybe they could challenge, but heck, it was, 83-7? I mean, they destroyed Three Rivers.
7 or something like that. Yeah, they destroyed Three Rivers. And it's the same thing with Ganado. I mean, I kept thinking there's got to be somebody there that can challenge them, but really Schulenburg and Weimer, I guess, played them the best games, but nobody challenged them. So, yeah, I mean, I think those two are headed for a week 3 showdown. I mean,
I think so.
I know Refugio plays Kennedy and Ganados gets Skidmore this week. And then after that, we'll see his second round. But, yeah, it sure looks like it. And I'll tell you another team that to keep an eye on is Shiner. They're playing a lot better now. They started out, they were playing bigger schools.
Right.
And, they took some lumps, but they've continued to improve. And now they're playing people their size. And the results are pretty convincing. So, I could see them in Fall City meeting up again too. Possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And then we mentioned Schulenburg. I think they go up against Three Rivers, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be at New Braunfels Canyon on Friday. So, and then Weimer plays Santa Maria. The thing about Santa Maria is those guys, they play tough. That's between them and Three Rivers. They were the only ones that really I don't want to say challenged, but maybe at least didn't back down.
Yeah.
To Refugio that went out and played hard. So I think that's the thing. But I expect. I would think, with the exception of, it wouldn't surprise me, with the exception of Refugio, if that Ganado district had a clean sweep in the first round.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Three Rivers can give Schulenburg a game. I know Brad Cornegay's a really good coach.
Right.
And I'm sure he'll have a good game plan, but whether or not he's got the people to match, because, I kind of was looking at Schulenburg's, stats the last night, actually, and boy, they've got some receivers that got a lot of catches and a lot of yards.
Yeah, their real strength, in having watched them play a few games, their real strength is their skill guys. They've got so many of them. They can swap them out the whole game, and they do great work. They're a little undersized on their lines, but they work hard. They're hard workers. So I think it's a great team.
Yeah, that's true. That's always concerns you. And I'll tell you what, you know, you look back at this last week. I mean, there was some great games this last week. I mean, look at Tidehaven.
Oh yeah,
That's been in East Bernard. Boy, that they've done. I mean, Coach Lucio, what a great job. I mean, he said at the first of the year, he said, you know, we're probably a year away from being really good again.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, those young kids have come around.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what, they're going to be a tough out, and it's going to be. It could come down to Tidehaven and East Bernard again.
Yeah, it would. That would be nice. I love when you get a repeat, and then the whole thing about trying to beat a team twice comes into play. Those are great scenarios.
Yeah, and that district was just crazy. How about that last week where Van Vleck gets in? You know, I mean, who would have thought that Van Vleck would be still playing?
Oh, yeah. No, that shocked me.
Yeah, I mean, so what happens is Pratt beats Industrial and Van Vleck beats Bowling. And, of course, by the points formula, Van Vleck got in.
Yeah.
So, of course, they have one, you know, Corey Austin, who's one of the best backs in the state.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got over 2,000 yards. So, he's a great back. And you know, I don't know. They've got a tough matchup. They got to play Blanco, which is Jamie Dixon's team. And
former Industrial coach.
And Jamie does a good job.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how strong. I think they lost. I'm pretty sure they lost their quarterback.
Mm.
You know, I'm not sure if Blanco's as strong as it was last year.
Right.
But, and I'll tell you, last week I saw a heck of a game, Bay City and Calhoun.
Yeah.
That was incredible. And Calhoun really impressed me. I mean, this is, you know, we're used to them kind of getting better as the year goes on.
Yeah.
And they have truly done that. I mean, they are, and it's not just, I mean, the option hard, they've got some athletes on that team. And, you know, their secondary is pretty good. Now, that being said, I don't care how good you are when you got a receiver like Zylan Williams to come.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is just, man, he's super athlete. And he had 4 touchdowns. But Calhoun is going to be tough. Now, the thing about Calhoun, I believe, if they get by Zapata, which they should, I think they're going to catch Davenport in the second round.
Yeah, and that one is going to be a buzzsaw unless, you know, unless Davenport's not full speed as far as health. We'll see.
Yeah, so because in that region, really, you have Davenport and you got LBJ. And, you know, those are the two teams that, you know, are probably the favorites to win that region. Although I think Bay City has a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting there.
Yeah.
And you know, and you know, I'm curious too. We talked about Franklin, you know, but I'm not sure if that district that Franklin's in is quite as tough as it has been. You know, Yoakum's playing Troy, against the second place team, and I'm curious to see how that comes out because Yoakum can score. The thing is, they've had issues with defense. But,
I was going to say, they can score, but they're going to have to outscore you to win.
Well, the thing I understand is what I've heard is that their quarterback, Trey Coyar, and their receiver, Xavier Barnett, and some other guys are going to be playing defense now. They haven't done it so far, but my understanding was in the playoffs that's what's going to happen. So that'll give them more athleticism on defense, which should help them. You know, I think Bo's theory there, Bo Robinson's theory was he didn't want to play him there all year because he felt like he'd wear him out.
Right.
Or, you know, risk injury, I guess. But now that the playoffs are here, you got to use your best. You know, you can't not. So I'm curious about that too. Of course, For our St. Joseph Flyers here, unfortunately, their first round pairing is a trip to Houston to play Second Baptist.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not what you want in the first round. So,
no, not at all.
No, especially going to Houston like that. But, yeah, so that's really it. I mean, got a lot of games. Actually, it's kind of weird. We have more games on Thursday than we do on Friday.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just the way the first round goes, I guess. But
yeah, definitely. Well, I'm hoping to go out to Fort Lavaca, and you know, if you're there, I'll see you.
Yeah.
But not positive yet.
Yeah, I probably that. Right now, Thursday is looking like I might go to Kennedy Refugio.
Oh yeah, where's that one?
That's at Beeville, but that's kind of the hang-up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been to Beeville.
Yeah.
It's quite challenging.
Yes, it is.
I spoke to the athletic secretary yesterday on Monday and gave her my info, and she said she would have to give it to the security to check me out. So, and I have yet to hear back from them. So, I'm probably going to call her and see what the deal is. But, you know, if that doesn't work out, I'll have to make a last-minute change, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you've encountered that, if you've been there lately.
I have. It's so rare, though. You know, even when you get up to the 6A schools in the big cities, most of the time you can just walk in. You know?
Well, the last time I went down there was last season, and it was for the Quail Bevo game.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to even let us in. And, you know, and I spoke to, of course, when Chris Sosa was there, I spoke to Chris and Coach Holmgren. They have no control over it. It's all an administrative thing.
Don't they know you're Mike Foreman?
They don't care who you are. I'll tell you, man. I've heard the same thing from, you know, my buddy Corey Slavic, who, you know, that works for the Goliad Refugio, which is that chain that Beeville owns, and they have the same issues. So, I don't know. I mean, I know people have complained to the UIL and complained everywhere, but I don't know. We'll see if anything changes or not.
Right.
Yeah, but I know, like, Refugio Kennedy's playing there Thursday, and then Yorktown is playing Ben Bolt there on Friday. So they have two games there. So I have no idea how that's going to shake out. Nice.
So before I let you go, I have to get your pick on Tyson versus Paul.
Oh, my God. I hope to God that Tyson doesn't die in the ring. You know, what is he, 58 years old?
Yeah.
And Chris Paul's like 24. I mean, Jake Paul's like 24. Yeah. I mean, my God.
It's funny because all the coaches I talk to are saying, oh, yeah, Tyson's going to destroy him. You know, and all the young people I'm talking to are saying, oh, yeah, he's going to destroy that old man. You know, but
you remember when George Foreman was fighting when he was, but that's a little different. I think he was boxing.
Right.
Is this boxing or is this like MMA?
No, it's boxing because Jake Paul has been working to be a boxer. He's been fighting MMA people in the boxing ring, but I think he finally had a real boxing match. So I don't know, but it's just like his brother is WWE. I have one coach tell me it's all fake anyway, so, you know, Paul will probably end up winning just because all the money will be on.
Yeah, it's a good likelihood. I remember, I guess, who was it? Was it Mayweather?
Yes. Yeah,
he destroyed somebody. I don't remember who it was, but when is that? Is that this weekend?
It's Friday. When the games kick off, it'll be kicking off on Netflix.
Well, I'm not going to miss it, so
no.
I'm not going to worry about it. But
I'll watch the replay.
That shows you how busy I am that I don't even know when it is.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, it snuck up on me. I just saw it this week. I go, oh, that's now? Oh, wow.
Well, hey, I have a brother. I saw Brother Gary today, and he said to say hello to you. So,
Awesome.
yeah, Brother Gary will be there. So, okay, Chris. Well, we'll speak. Hopefully, we'll have quite a few games again next week.
Sounds good. Talk soon.
You're listening to the Lone Star Gridiron Sports Network.
Hey, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I want to thank Citizens Medical Center for bringing you the Gulf Coast Texas High School Football Huddle. Please take a second to share this show with your friends and family. Like and subscribe on any major podcast platform, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the Gulf Coast Texas High School Football Huddle. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and I'm hoping to see you at the game.